Hi everybody, I wanted to come and do something a little different for you all today. Now let me give out my disclaimer. This video is in no way to insult you or to make you feel like any certain kind of way, but it's to help because this is something that we all probably have gone through or will go through as social workers. So it's Saturday night. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt because I'm not going anywhere, and that's because tomorrow morning I have to leave to go to a conference that's going to be, I think, 4 days. So I'm just chilling out. So I was thinking, since I want this channel to be about social work and all things social work, although it's primarily to help people prepare for the exam, I do want to have other things on this channel that is related to social work. And although this is not necessarily directly related to social work, but as social workers we will attend a lot of dinners, formal dinners, networking dinners, those kind of things, luncheons for fundraisers, for nonprofits, auctions, just a lot of formal events. If you work with a nonprofit or even with the state agency, there'll be a lot of breaking bread, if you will, with other people from other agencies, and a lot of times it's in a very formal setting, with place settings on the table and things like that. So I wanted to come and make a video on etiquette, and what to do and expect at a formal dinner. I know you're probably like, oh man, what does this have to do with social work? But trust me, like, I wish that someone would have told me these things when I first started out as a social worker, because when you get into, and I did learn this stuff in like high school, but you kind of forget that stuff, and you get a little refresher sometimes in college and things like that, but you don't use these kind of things all the time. So I figured, okay, maybe I can do this and it'll help somebody out, because it definitely has helped me out. So as normal, I do have some notes, and so if you see me looking down, that's why. So these are just some things to expect or to know when you're at a formal dinner, networking with people from other agencies, or just if you're at a dinner in general. And I know this doesn't cover everything, but it does cover a good portion of what to do and what to expect. Okay, so the first etiquette rule is that your bread is always on the left. So you've probably heard people say use your hands as a reminder. So if you put your hands like this, and it probably will look different for you because of the camera, but if you put your hands like this and you just put your 2 index fingers out and do the rest of your fingers like this, your left hand makes a B, your right hand makes a D. So B is for bread is on your left, and D is for drink, your drinks are on your right, because that confuses me every time. So that's a good way to remember it. B and D, bread on the left, drink on the right. Okay. Now another thing to remember when you're out at these dinners, don't be the first person to finish your food, or at least try not to be the first person to finish your food, because you don't want to look like you haven't eaten, especially if you're younger and you're eating with a lot of older people or more established people. Like, they know that you probably are entry level or just now getting into the job, but don't look like it. Like, don't go and gobble up your food, be the first one to finish. Try to track the pace of everyone else as they're eating. Slow down if necessary, but you don't want to finish eating and everybody else is still eating for another 15 minutes while you're just sitting there. So that's another thing, another tip. Of course, and some of this is just stuff that you do anyway. Don't reach over people while you're asking for something, or reaching for the creamer or the sugar or whatever. Even if it's very close to you, just ask someone to pass it to you. Because I know I'm a germaphobe. I don't want anybody's underarm possibly sweating and dripping on my food. I don't want anybody's nose over my food. Like, just, politely ask someone to pass you whatever it is you're reaching for, even if it's like close to you. And then if you're like me, I'm very clumsy. I drop everything, and wouldn't be a good look. So let's see what else. If you drop your fork, your knife, your spoon, or whatever, don't pick it up and start using it again just because it was on the floor for a few seconds. Just pick it up and ask for another one. And of course, you don't want to eat with your hands. It's being around people eating, it's just, especially in like a formal setting, it's just very awkward sometimes, and especially depending on what they serve, so don't use your hands while you're eating. Just use your fork and your knife. Simple. Have manners, basically, of course. But and this one is hard. Keep your elbows off the table. If you're like me, like, I'm not in a lot of formal settings all the time, and it's just a habit to, like, you sit there and talk, you put your elbows on the table. Just kind of be aware not to do that. And then also, there's a lot of forks and knives and things on the table. You go from the outside in, because it's confusing when you have two forks sitting beside each other, two knives and things like that. So you start from the outside in, and you eat your salad, you eat with the fork that's on the furthest out, and you work your way in. Let's see, your napkin. Okay, if you as soon as you sit down, take your napkin, put it in your lap, or tuck it in your shirt, and you don't have to whip it out and do like this and do all that. Just unfold it, put it in your lap, that kind of thing. If you have to get up from the table to go to the restroom, don't put your napkin in the plate or on the table. Sit it in your chair, and then when you come back, just take it out your chair and put it back in your lap or back in your shirt if it's not used with sauce and stuff like that on it. This one, don't talk with your mouth full. Of course, we've all been taught that. Make sure that because some people just aren't aware, and I've seen people do this, just make sure you don't talk with your mouth full. People understand if you have food in your mouth and they ask you a question, I'm pretty sure they will wait for you to finish chewing, or at least get enough of it down that you can talk without exposing all of the food in your mouth. Another common sense one, don't lick your fingers or suck on your fingers. No matter how good it is, just don't do it. And then also, if you are passing a plate or serving bowl around, you want to pass it to the right. So, people pass the bread around, people pass around salad dressing and creamer and things like that. If you don't need it, don't just back away from it. Just take it and pass it to the right, because you don't want to pass it to the left and mess up the rotation of what's going on. This day and age, phones are a big deal, big thing. If you're in a formal dinner, a meeting, like, leave your phone on vibrate in your purse or in your back pocket or whatever. You don't want to be on your phone the entire time, texting and talking. If you need to take an important call, then do so, but just try not to be on the phone if at all possible. While you're eating, don't hold your fork and your knife in your hand. Like, cut your food, take a bite, put your fork and knife down, and continue your conversation if you're talking. You just don't want to sit there holding your fork and your knife and talking, because I talk with my hands a lot You know, you don't want to have a fork and knife in your hand, talking and pointing at people and doing things like that. So just set it down as you talk and then pick it back up and take a bite. Also, another big thing that I learned early on, if someone asks for the salt or the pepper individually, you pass the salt and pepper together. So if I say, oh, well, do you mind passing me the salt? Even if I didn't ask for the pepper, send the pepper with the salt. You never split the two apart. Another thing is like, I remember when I was in high school, I dated this guy, and we were going out to dinner with his parents, and we went to Red Lobster, I believe, and I love pasta, so I ordered pasta. But when it got to the table, it was this big bowl of like fettuccine alfredo or something like that, and it's very hard to eat that, you know, without being a little messy, because you gotta twirl the pasta on your fork, and then, you know, sometimes it's not a perfect twirl, so you have some pasta like hanging off the fork, and then you have to like suck it up and all this other stuff. So it probably wasn't a good idea to pick that. But just be aware, like if you're eating shellfish or something like that, or if you have an option to order crab legs or a lobster or something like that, if you don't know how to properly crack it open using the tools that they give you, then you probably don't want to order it, because you don't want to be so consumed with trying to open a shellfish that you don't engage in a conversation, or you get embarrassed and food starts flying everywhere. Again, you don't want to slurp or, you know, suck up pasta and soup and things like that. And then also, when you're eating soup, when you come down to the end of it, if there's still more in there that you want to get, of course you don't pick the bowl up and tilt it back and drink it. You tilt your bowl forward a little bit and you take your spoon and you get the rest of it, but you don't need to get down to the last drop. And you know, even some people say that you shouldn't eat all of your food when you're at these formal dinners. I personally will eat all of my food and clean my plate if I like it. I don't see the point in wasting food, but some people feel like you shouldn't eat everything on the plate. You should leave a little bit on it. That's wasteful to me, especially if it's good. So I don't know if I agree with that. Then you have sometimes where you may have a salad with olives that still have the pit in it. You know, don't suck on it like a sunflower seed and then take it out your mouth, spit it out, that kind of thing. If you do eat the olive and you have the pit, you just take it out of your mouth. They say with your left hand, but I guess either hand would be good, and you just set it on the side of your plate. So don't, you know, eat it and then spit it out on the plate, that kind of thing. Another thing is, I've been told that when you're eating steak or just anything, you don't want to season your food without tasting it first. Which, I mean, I don't see why, if you did season it first without tasting it, would be a big problem. But that's just what they say. You should taste your food before you season it. I guess you don't want to insult the chef, I think is what they said. Also, you know, if everybody's food doesn't come out all at the same time, you wait until everybody's served. And then also, if you're at one of these formal dinners and someone is paying for it, you don't want to order the most expensive thing. You kind of want to go off of what the host gets and kind of try to stay either at or below the price of whatever entree that person got. But again, you want to wait to start eating before. You want to wait until everyone is served before you start eating. And then another thing is, when people say grace or bless the food, that can be a very awkward situation at these formal dinners. So, because for one, everybody doesn't bless their food or say grace. Everybody doesn't have the same religion or same beliefs, and so it would probably be best if you are one of those people who says grace and blesses your food, then just say it. You just bow your head and you do it to yourself. Or, if it's a group of people and everybody, that everybody is kind of on the same page as far as that, and then you wait for whoever to offer to do the blessing, and then you go about your way doing that. What else is something I wanted to talk about? I had some notes in my phone. Let's see. Okay, I think I covered everything. Sorry for that little pause. So I'm opening up the conversation in the comment box. So if you can add anything to these suggestions or tips, leave it in the comment box. If you disagree with something I said, you can leave that in the comment box as well. Just have conversation amongst yourselves as colleagues, because all the people that are subscribed to this channel and the people that watch this channel, it's pretty much what we all are. We are colleagues, and I would encourage you to use the comment section to network, and hopefully you do that on all the videos. That's what I would hope you would do. Just trying to think of if there's anything else that I wanted to add. I don't think so. So if there is anything else, I'll add it in my comment in the description box. But just thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you don't like these kind of videos, just let me know, and I'll try not to make any more. But if you've watched the channel, then you see that I do have a video on like interviewing. My job is a victim advocate. I have some kind of like miscellaneous videos on this channel, so because I want it to be about social work in general. So if you have anything to say, like I said, leave it in the comment box, and until next time, I will see you all later.